In this third session, we will work with graphite bar and with the different pressure levels, obtaining different tonal scales. As a practice, we will make a portrait and obtain different levels of light that we can get with these materials. In this session, we will use our graphite pencil bar, which in this case is 6B, which in this case is soft and light. We will use our 3 graphite bars, which are here. One of them is hard, another one is medium, and the last one is soft. The point with graphite is that all of them have a lot of brightness. The type of paper you are using is important. As the graphite tends to slip, it is important to use a sketchbook or sheet that has a lot of grain or texture, such as the sketchbook we are using right now. To draw a face that may seem somehow complex, let's start by dividing our sheet. Don't worry if the line you are drawing is not straight, or if you have to use more than one. In this case, I am using my HB pencil. I will draw a circle in the middle of the line. That will be my axis. I divide it in half. Done. I will draw the distance from the middle of the circle and use that as proportion. Done. These 2 circles that I have drawn will define the shape of my model's face. What I mean is that the hair and the skull are like accessories that go over. There are people who have the skull at the widest top, or who have much more hair, or people who lack of hair. It's important to always observe the model and to know what are their characteristics, such as the shape of its nose, the contour of its face. In this case, my model, I can see that it has a square chin and a very angular contour. The middle line here is what will define the eyebrows. The end of the circle will define the nose. Half of this small circle will define the base of the lips. Also remember that the size of the nose from fossa to nostril indicates the size of the eyes that are below the eyebrows. Those are broadly the measures that can be used to make a face. We geometrize the face of our model. You always have to keep looking at it. You have to know if your model has a rounded face, or maybe the model has hard features. We are going to draw this with our HB pencil, which I had told you is the appropriate. Let's start drawing or improving the contours of our model. The method could be super simple as you practice it more and more. It's important to see the size of the nose. There are people who have a much smaller nose, while there are other people who have a very large nostrils. In the case of our model, it seems that he has a fairly wide nose. First, we make the lips. Because we have the center, we already know where it is going. Important. It is often said that the center of the eyes down marks the size of the lips. We are drawing the face symmetrically to the ears. The ears usually begin at the base of the nose. Front views are not very large. Then we have the hair here, which, as I said before, it is an accessory. About the neck, it starts where the eyes end. We extend a line, and that should be the width of the neck. This is the shape of our model's head made with our HB pencil. Now we have to shade it. We are going to use our graphite pencil and bars. So, the way of working this is exactly the same. We tilt the pencil. We see where the light is coming from and where the greatest amount of shadows are. I am not squeezing the graphite pencil much. It has very good quality, this pencil. Sometimes you squeeze the graphite too much and it doesn't work. You press too much and you already do it too much. In this case, that doesn't happen with this graphite. It is quite soft. We reinforce some parts. We could use our paper blending stamp. Not that I am a big fan of the paper blending stamp. You can actually use the type of shading with which you feel most comfortable. It's okay to make mistakes, which is important when drawing. Ideally, you could test the pencil pressure to find out how much you can get from it to get a better job. Now we have a general shadow of the face. If you think that you have put too much pressure on the face, we can use the vinyl eraser we have here. It is special for this kind of situations. Because the eraser could take the form we want. This is the one I'm talking about. We take out a piece, we could give it the shape we want. For example, we can take out a little bit from here, a little bit from here, this vinyl eraser is very good. It helps us to correct all the small mistakes we have made. After this, we need to do is shape our portrait. We are going to work only a part so that you can see what we can achieve with our graphite pencil. It's important to constantly look at our model. That would help us to have a much more realistic details about very specific characteristics, such as the eyebrows, stronger or lighter shadows, the shape of the nose, and another characteristic, the shadow that the nose casts. As you can see, only using our graphite pencil, we already have the most tonal values in our character. If, on the contrary, we want to make much larger areas of shadows, such as the hair, which is practically stain, we can use our graphite bar. This is the medium. Also, we can give it the form that follows or has the hair. The largest areas of shadows can be known using these bars. If you realize, this graphite bar and the graphite pencil have a shine as if they had a bit of varnish on top. To make our work very coherent and more sequentiality, the paper blending stamp will help us. The paper blending stamp will generate the shape of the hair and focus on some details of our model. Remember that the pressure is important when using the paper blending stamp. The lower the pressure, the less blur on the spots. And if we want to be completely vanished, we press a little harder the paper blending stump. In addition to the fact that the paper blending stump has part of the graphite that has been rubbing, it can also help us to give a little more tonal values to our drawing. Finally, if we want to remove some stains, for instance this one around the chin, because there is always a lot of light on the chin, the lip must be very clear. The nose is the one that stands out quite a lot. Here you can add a little more shade. Done. That would only be a part of what we can achieve with our graphite bar and our graphite pencil, in addition to our paper blending stamp. In this way, we can mix different types of values, texture, and materials.